two projects. There is the recap. I want everyone we go through it tuone chenye kila mtu amefanya. Then we learn a little bit of upsetting data, or how do you handle Mongo and the structure and everything about Mongo. Then we go to Cassandra. We touch a little bit of Cassandra. Then how do you create and that is how do you use Python to build ETL. Then lastly is creating Python package. An example of a package that we have is pandas and the rest here. So that's what we're going to be doing during this session. And before we start, I remember taking you through the week 1 project, and I gave you everything that you needed to extract data from the link that was provided. That was the African energy data. Then after that, you're supposed to script data using request. That is from the API that was exposed. Then you're supposed to create an ETL. That is you extract, then transform, then you load that data into MongoDB. Yeah. So before we proceed, or before we start, ningeuliza kindly kama umemaliza the assignment or the week 1 project, kindly can you unaweza type kwa chat nioneni wangapi, na kama ulikuwa na issue you can say, unaweza raise it ndo tuangalie pia, so that anyone cannot be left behind. So kindly, the chat is open. You can type done, yes, no, yeah. Or if you're done, you can react with your thumbs up. Yes, I'm waiting. Okay, Peter is working on visualization. Who else? Okay, ni sawa. So this is more of a discussion. It's not CC class per se. So kindly, nikisema you react, kindly react, or if you're supposed to type anything, you can. If you want to ask any question, raise your hand. No, ikuwe much interactive. Nisikuwe najiongelesha peke yangu. Yeah, I don't want it to be of a class, or I want to pick more of a discussion. So from the week 1 project, what we're supposed to do was to extract data. Then you're supposed to transform that data and validate it, make sure that you may follow the format that I gave. The format for click. Then the next thing that you're supposed to do is to load that data into MongoDB. So kuna vitu zingine will be handling them together. So from extracting data, transforming, loading, hizi vitu zote, the entire process ni what we the objectives za leo zote they are intertwined, so itakuwa so easy for us tukihandle inatupeleka closer to the next one na hivyo tukimalizia. So the first thing that we're supposed to do is to extract data, and I'll ask I'll ask Bradley, kindly share your screen. Bradley, share your screen. I want you to take us through the project that you took, that you did, how you got the data, transformed it, and then loaded it into the database. We'll discuss yote in case kuna any changes that you need to do. Tunasaidiana tu hapa. Okay. Yeah, so take us to where your code is. Open the code base. Bradley, open your code base. So if, okay, how many text? Hey, Brad. Kiongozi. Okay. Someone else can share the screen. Ronald, can you share your screen? Bradley, you can stop sharing your screen. Ronald? Ronald, can you share your screen? Okay. Nani amemaliza? I staki kushare ku overfeed. I want us to go step by step to rearrange the code base and stuff. Kila kitu. Emmanuel. Emmanuel, share your screen. We have so many people here. Agustin, Awino, Daniela. Yeah, we have so many people. Okay, yeah, good. Someone is sharing the screen. Okay, yeah, so Bradley, go to your code base. It'll go very fast. Okay. No, I want you to open where the code is. Okay, yeah, good. Open the X, okay, and the code. And now you can increase the font size so that everyone can see. Control plus, your data. Good. Funga terminal. Close the terminal. Good. Okay. Yeah. So Bradley, naona you decided to go with Selenium, of which it's a good idea still. The only thing, unaona nilikuwa nimewapatia a proposal and I told you to go to your lens and utafute another way that you can get the data. Yeah. So there was an issue ulikuwa unablokiwa when you try to get the data by the endpoints, yeah, wanatumia Cloudflare, yeah, to detect the robots and stuff and bots and stuff. So anytime that you ukitumia request and you want to get data, inakublock, unablokiwa. So the best thing that you can do is to use a serverless browser. An example of a serverless browser is Selenium. You can use Selenium. Another one called Playwright. There's so many. Unaweza tumia hizo, or yenye nilikwambia, while using ukifanya an API call, unaweza tumia, you can use Cloud Scraper. Yes. So I can say Bradley decided to go with Selenium. So the first thing that he did is to scrape the data. Working with the scraper, you can scroll down kidogo, tuangalie tu. Yeah, so the scraper, Bradley, kindly, unaweza unmute tueleze about your code. You take us through the code base, then to the next step, see what. Brad, kindly unmute, you take us through your project.
So, hi everyone.
Hey, Brad. Yeah. You can proceed. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was my project. So first I had this driver, which inatumia beautiful soap and Selenium to open the website from the new web. Just a minute, give me a minute, guys.
You don't need to like take us through the entire code base. Kindly take us through the functions, different functions that you have. Tell us the functionalities, what you expected the function to like deliver, and show us the output that you got. Yeah, only that. Usitupeleke line by line. Take us through the code that umetumia kuload nayo data inside the DB, then utueleze this is what it's supposed to. This is the function that I did. Tupeleke through the script.py. Tukiendelea tu. Yeah, can proceed with that.
Yeah. Okay. So these were the libraries that I imported. You can see pandas, time, ray, and Selenium. This was the base URL. And then this is a function for the script data. So we will scrape all the data from the from the um, from the link that we provided. And then we used I used a try catch block here, trying to open the links. You can see here I was selecting a sector and waiting for the driver to scrape. Yeah. So I used a try catch block to avoid to catch any errors so that my code wasn't interrupted. Yeah. And then after all, I got the data here. As you can see from on my file side, I have these CSVs. So this shows you that I got the data, but I can run it again to show you that the code worked. Yeah. So yeah, everything here was just opening the drop downs and selecting the and scraping the data that was available on any checkbox that was there. Yeah. Yeah. And then the data. We also had the chat there, and here was the function. And it had parameters, which is the driver given, and the sector name, which we had. Yeah. So we selected all the rows, and we used also a try catch block. Yeah. 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 The
You can be heard, but si sana.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Bradley. Naona you still sharing your screen now. So guys, let me do this. Let me take you in a quick project that I did, a similar project. Nitakuwa very fast kidogo, mtaniwia radhi about that. In just a minute, nifungue with ZTL scripper. It was a similar project as you did. So, but now you're gonna get data from different sites, not just only one site. So, tukubaliana na mimi kidogo. It should let me share the screen. Okay. Yeah. So, I hope you can see my screen. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Kindly react. Good. So, what I want you guys to do with the code that you have, and thank you so much, Bradley, for sharing your screen and taking us through the code base. So I want you guys to go through your code and rearrange what you have. So your code should have at least 3 different files. That is the one for extracting data. You should have another file. Organize your work. Then it is so easy for you to go through hiyo ni yote. The first one tumesema ni ya get data. The second one we do data cleaning and validation, and the third one is for loading. Then we can have a main function, a main runner function that combines the entire, that is the zote tatu. Yeah, so as you can see in my code here, what I used to be a request for me to get data from is in zote. So ukiangalia hapa nilikuwa na energy data world, energy data, I had another one here, yeah, ndo hii. So mi yangu nilitumia cloud scraper instead of Selenium. So what it does, una get data, lakini no instead of kutumia serverless browser, ina create that the robotics or hiyo request ya enye wanafunga, because what I believe African Energy Portal is a heavily JavaScript rendered portal. So on a block, huwezi tumia beautiful soup to get the data alone. So you need something else, yeah, to open the browser and who disable near robot kuyeka yes inaweza allow, yeah, and all the requests zako isikae ni kazi zimetoka kwa a robot. So the first thing that I did is to import different packages that I was using. Then this one was to set the path of the directory, or yeah, so you can see kuja kwa maini niko na from constant import countries, energy indicator, normalized countries, serial number, and all that. So all these zilikuwa shared kwa different data. Ukiingia kwa Acquistant, hiyo ni thematic group ingine, CFCM, energy, infrastructure, nature, we have adaptation, energy, all of them zina share countries, zina share normalizing country and serial for countries. Hizo ni vitu zote zenye zinakuwa shared. Nikiingia kwa my constants.py, unaona I have countries, WGI, this is for the World Bank data venye wana categorize the countries, wanaziweka in codes. Then we have preferred countries that we need. We have synonyms, we have energy indicators. Ndo hizi the indicators za the code that we are supposed to mali tunafaa get the data from. We have something else hapa, hii ni indicators za World Bank. We have stripping numbers. It's something yenye like inafanyika kwa ni normalizing different countries, like kuna majina venye like we wanted the names to be inakuwa preferred country names. So unarudi kwa preferred country names ni gani hapa, ndo hizi preferred to countries. Yeah, so we have the countries and we have how the name should appear. So kani Cabo Verde inakuwa Cape Verde. If it's Central Africa Rep, we need it as Central African Republic, we need it as Central African Rep. For Cote d'Ivoire, itakuwa Cote d'Ivoire, unarudisha tu and all that. Hizo ni zote how we don't need a country known as North Africa, so hiyo unaitoa kabisa. Another thing that we did is to generate different serial numbers per country. If it's Kenya, tulimeanza tulisema the first country in Africa, it's Algeria. Algeria should have a serial number 1. Then the last country is Zimbabwe, should have serial number 54. So we are setting the serial number here, and now creating a function to do what? To to generate or to give, to generate every serial number here. And it will find out a compression list. Yes. So another thing that we did now is to so after this is the 8 point and the number of years that we need, the main row, the main indicators that we need. The main indicators were 3: access, supply, and technical. I'm not going back to like the site, inaonyesha inspect and all that. Tulikuwa tushafanya. I just want you to like see the flow venye iko. Then extracting the source, that is in case kuna any link that need to be clicked. Yeah, we extracting that link, then we move on. Then stripping extension, kuzifanya like extension za URI tuzieke the URL extension zake. Kama kuna extension yenye tunafaa kuongeza, we add it. If kuna yenye tunatoa, we just remove it. Then enriching now the subsectors. This is where now we came to nikawambia you should have a sector, you should have a subsector, you should have a subsector, you should have metrics and all that. So all of them nikafanya list. For me, I did a list compression of this. If K in M for K in with anything that has with access, without access to electricity, you yote return it as a metric called power transmission and distribution. We had another one, and others. That is this is a subsector, ipatie subsector, power transmission, distribution. We have renewable energy, clean cooking, general. That is general is for the subsector. Yes. Then tukaenda, the next thing is to now clean and transform our data. After cleaning now, kutoa like the NAs, kuna null values, unazifeed. If in our case, all the null values, zote because tunaziweka in null. So kuna kuzitoa because like we need to visualization, we need to see mwaka gani yenye hakukuwa na anything, which year yenye kulikuwa na hii and this and this and this and this and this, and we don't need to like drop any column. So the next thing that we did after cleaning now is to get all the data. So our data, we got it as entry, tukaita entry. So entry dot get here, okay, score as our year. The score is our score. Unit, then our indicator group, indicator topic, URL. Then we have something else, the source, that is our URL, source link. You strip the extension of the URL. Then serial for the country, and subsector, zote ziko for enrich. Then what we're supposed to get is a country, data yote. Then the next thing are created at the exact time. So unatumia UTC now. Actually, it's supposed to be now. Yes, UTC, it's descripted. Yeah, so then una come up with a main function or a runner function. So tungeachia tukifungia ni yetu instead of ani kwenda hizi ni zote. Yeah, tungeachia tu ni, but well, iko sawa. So what we're expecting to have is a header, that is a browser. We needed a browser, tukatumia Chrome. Then platform that we're using is Windows. Then mobile, it's Force. If tulikuwa tunatumia mobile to do the scraping, tungeweka true. Then kuna headers zenye zinahitajika, that is hizi zote zinakuwa given kwa the zinapatiano na the inaitwaje, yeah, na API yenye tulikuwa naonyesha venye inaenda. Then we are getting the energy indicators, scraping that, blah 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 blah. Yeah. So then the next thing that we're supposed to do is to like rearrange your data. If you're supposed to have all this, then you include the tags. And tags, we came to generate the tags. The tags should have metric, it should have subsector, subsector, and sector. The four of them, yeah, is in a form the tags, and now all the enders that we were looking for, equal country, serial number, metric, unit, blah 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 blah, is on isote. Then the next thing, that was just the extractor. So nimekwambia in your file you should have at least 4 different files. So the first one, we are just only extracting data. Now the second one is cleaning that data now. Yeah, ukiangalia kwetu, what we did after now getting the data, tulicall normalizing here. So the next tunaingia kwa clean and transform. So kwa clean and transform, this is where you state kila kitu chenye unataka, the data types and stuff. So unarudi kwa utils zetu, like hizi vitu zote, making like the ratio, uniqueness of the ratio numbers, passing different formats of data and all that. So we have tokens that we really need to handle. If yes, why, true, or one, hizo zote ni maboolean. Then you need to convert your data. If it's a boolean, they convert into zeros and ones. Then how do we handle that? For a boolean, inaanza with all the data. If the metric starts with is, has, have, does, do, are, was, were, can, and all that, definitely the unit yake yenye tunapata, the kind of data yenye tunapata itakuwa 1 or itakuwa a boolean, most probably. Then the placeholders, that is the metadata that we need, or all the columns. Then how do we handle our NA? Our missing data, nimewambia, what we're supposed to have, it's a null value in case we encounter a missing data. Then this function haijatumika mahali, that's why you can see it's not haijafanya nini. Then you're supposed to drop headers in case now this one ili happen. I was working on this project, and the reason why I normally include this, especially when you're handling data ukitoa kwa Google Documents or for Excel files, kuna watu wenye utend like let's take an example, una work on energy data for different countries. Tuna start with Kenya, then ikifika kwa chini bado tunarudia the headers tena, zile the column ya rows hizo ziko ndani, tunaisema tena, tunasema sijui kani the sector ndo hii ingine ndo hii ingine ndo hii, this is the country, tunaenda the next country, zote ziko na hizo hiyo column row. So hiyo ndo isikuwe repeated ama isikuwe kwa data yako. That was the work of this one, but in this case like it was not even necessary to have it because already our data inahitaji. So clean data frame, we're supposed to make our headers very unique and to remove all the repeated headers, that is the row. Then we have tokens, blah blah blah, inferior. Then defining the roles that we have, all the columns that we should have and stuff. Then this is how our data should be. Then now we come to normalizing our source columns. In case like we had this is too much, like literally this code, sikuifanyia a lot of me. I took it from somewhere else. I had a similar code, so ilikuwa tu kidogo, sikutoa a lot of things, but so many things ni unnecessary here because our data already tusha state venye ni zetu zitakuwa the columns na zote ziko fiti. Then this is now our build record. Now the build record, ukiangalia nitaonyesha tu mahali tulicall build records kwa energy data. These yet tuja call, and that's nitaonyesha tu sahi. Ikikuja kwa energy data, this was aggregator, like ilikuwa inachukua data za wild data and energy zote mbili, na absent ilikuwa na two links. So the first one was to get from World Bank and the other one was to get from Africa Energy Portal. Zote mbili nikazimerge pamoja. After getting the data, tunazimerge mali tunakuja kuzistore. So in clean and transform, build records, hapa ndo tuna state venye all the columns that we'll need and how do we want our data to be. So I told you the document should have, you should have an ID, country, serial, sector, and blah, 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 blah. Then the metadata, you should have data about your data. Yes, then whatever chenye utapata is the records, and that is what we're going to use, the function. You're going to get the function, get data. Then the next thing that we did is to now include that, the build data. Data yote yenye tumepata ipitie kwa build data, and we get inatupatia ndio we prepare kuiweka kwa our database. Kiangalia ilikuwa build records, we were supposed to note here. Let me look for that. I think ilikuwa kwa wild data. I know I was nilikuwa naitumia somewhere kwa energy, not energy, for data. Yeah, but I'll show you baadaye. So the next thing that we're supposed to do is to now validate our data to ensure that every country is there. If kuna extra country, we toa kabisa. Yeah. So and when you're validating, you should always unajaribu kuandika a report. So in my end, like I nilikuwa naandika reports. Yeah. Kiangalia hapa niko na reports for different data. Niko na for energy, validate for CM, CF, CMs, nini, naambiwa nikicheck total record reviewed 0 and all that, missing countries, nilikuwa na miss hizo zote. So unaenda unarudi tena kuangalia what could be the problem. Then I came nikapata the data now after resolving all the issues zenye nilikuwa nazo. So the next thing yenye nilifanya for me on my end is to, after like validating my data, now is to call the runner function. That is the main function. So the main function una call nini? Una call validating, then energy extractor, extracting and all that. So these are all the data that you can extract. The first one was extractor energy, then I had energy data yenye tulikuwa tunafanya ni na energy data tulikuwa tunaistore wapi? Ilikuwa energy extractor, collection ilikuwa energy, we stored our data there. Okay, energy AEP and all that, and now this one was the runner function. So instead of kwenda kurun hii, so yangu ningekuja tu ni run directly. I can either run or I run a sector option sector, then we indicate the sector that I want, of which the sectors are this, only this. Hizi zenye ziko hapa: CFCM, adaptation, nature, acquistant, energy data, and energy. The 6 of them. So up to there, kuna mwenye ako na swali? Ama nimewapeleka mbio sana? Anyone with a question or anahitaji clarification before we move to the next step now of understanding MongoDB and Cassandra?
I have a question. Kuna wenye, okay, now I don't know if it's just me, probably not. But is there a way that tunaweza kuona kando juu? My friend. That was a lot. Like, okay, I understand that work is work, but jamani, let me just say on my end, naangalia code hata yenye Bradley mwenyewe amefanya na I'm like, brother, kuna kitu kweli naelewa. So I was just wondering, fine, I understand that we're going through the code, but if we wanted to see you kando, is it possible?
Yeah, definitely, but not during the day. always nikunakwanga busy, held up, ningeanga kazi tomorrow I'll be working, so during the day huwezi nipata. Kesho na kesho kutwa. So on Thursday you can, but jioni I'm available from 9. So
okay.
yeah.
So wanted to ask, hizi resources zenye natumia ni gani?
Yeah.
For example, easy resources. I understand that we're probably all new to this, and nimecheki tu kazi ya Bradley, and honestly, Bradley, you've done amazing work. Sijui pali yeye mwenyewe alikuwa ametoa hizi vitu, but just a share of information. Ama ni watu na groups, siko sure.
No. Actually, let me tell you one thing. Literally, niliwaambia msitumie GPT kufanya hiyo kazi, kugenerate the code and stuff. But hakuna mwenye amekulimit kutumia GPT kufanya research nayo. Trust me, going through the internet kuperuse every print that you get, it's so tedious, and you have something in inaweza kufanya research very easily, kuelezea all the things that you unahitaji, like patia a link to the source mahali to hiyo kitu. You just go na tu unaipatia a prompt, I want this and this and this and this and this. Kindly, can you give me different ways that I can get this data from this one? Inakuelezea all of them, pros and cons zake. Wewe mwenyewe you choose. Unaiambia I choose this. Let's take an example. I choose using Selenium. Unaiambia, can you provide me with a documentation for Selenium? Documentation link ya Selenium. Inakupatia a link. You just click on the link, inakupeleka kwa Selenium. It's so easy to navigate around. Python iko na millions and millions of packages. Na zote huwezi exhaust zote, si tutajua zote pamoja. So it's upon you to utilize AI and upige research, because that was the thing. You're supposed to do research. So as part of kulearn, utilize AI bado. Sawa. Lakini usitumie kugenerate nayo codes. I remember I told someone, if you write a function and you don't know what that function is doing, that's garbage. Trust me. You really need to understand the function. Kama ukiulizwa swali, you need to explain it, articulate it in a better way, and ukuwe tu unajua kila kitu chenye your code chenye inafanya. Ni sawa? And for like if you want to pitia ni unaweza reach out anytime, but not during the day. Majioni from 9 I'm available. Tunaweza go through hizo processes zote pole. Ni sawa? So another thing that we're supposed to go through is learning about Mongo. I won't okay. Well, ni sawa. Any weekends. Yeah, any weekends, but during the day. So yeah, so what we're supposed to go through is learn a little bit about MongoDB. I'll say everyone has interacted with kila mtu interact with what's the name? Kila mtu interact na database. Kila mtu nikisema DB and understand what a database is, and understand the structure of different databases. Nikisema kila mtu anaelewa what tables are, what rows and columns are. That is fields and stuff in a database. So Mongo, it's a database. Yeah, but now remember we said tunakuanga na different types of databases. Kuna relational and non-relational databases, sindio? So relational databases, you arrange your work in tabular form, in rows and columns. But now for NoSQL databases, our data to store in JSON format. So in Mongo, what we normally do, we have we normally say in Mongo, like store your data in any NoSQL database, you need to have a cluster. So a cluster ni aggregate, like all ni zako statuses zako zote, tables zako zote, sawa. One cluster inaweza kuwa na so many tables, unaweza store different tables kwa yenyewe. Then the next thing is a database itself. Now a cluster can have more databases, yeah, that's the thing. Then database can have different tables, but now in Mongo we don't call them tables, we call them collections, sawa. So inside a collection we have documents yenye tunatumia. A document is just like a row. Hiyo row moja ya table, that's one document. If we have 1,000 rows in Mongo, we have 1,000 documents. So let's see about the documentation kidogo ya Mongo before to move for the next thing. I will just nataka tu tuipitie mbio tu. I tend to believe that everyone alifanya research on this, and nikiongea about, you can get started here. All the dependencies that we need. So one thing, Mongo comes in two ways. The way unaweza install into your database, into your machine. You can use either Mongo Atlas, yenye niliwaambia kila mtu create. This is the cloud version of Mongo, sawa. Or you can download Mongosh onto your machine, sawa. So the difference between the two of them, Atlas, it's a pay. Unaona the free tier inakupatia 512 MB. So that means huwezi eka data more than 512. But Mongosh is a terminal based. So install for your machine, you can have more data inside it. So the first thing that you normally do, Mongo iko na different packages then you install as you work with it na Python. Unaona hapa wanasema you can connect to your deployment with the MongoDB shell. Let me just open one. Niko na both, naweza fungua na campus na naweza fungua the Mongosh. Yeah, nikifungua hii, like I'll have to go and do a lot of things, but still nita have kwenda ni extract ndo ni run the shell yake, lakini now I don't need to do all that. It's easy sana to move to yenye iko. So what you do, the first thing is to connect to your database, that is either locally ama ukitumia cloud deployment. A cloud deployment unaweza tumia like a Mongo Compass. Watu wa Windows, Mongo Compass connect, sawa. Watu wa Ubuntu and Linux unatumia Mongosh to connect kwa your database, to interact with your database, and then you have this command show DBs and stuff. So don't think if this documentation is gonna everything that I needed. Maybe just go back. You can just start from the overview, yeah, development. Yes, that's what you need. Yeah, so in Mongo, Nasema is a document database designed for ease application development and scaling. We have three environments for Mongo: Mongo Atlas, Enterprise, and Community. Community is a source available, free to use and self-managed version of Mongo. Here in your Mongosh and you install what your machine directly. Then Enterprise, self-managed version, but subscribe the owner NPR. Atlas is fully managed by Mongo deployers in cloud-based. So the only advantage with Mongo, like I normally recommend what to be Mongo, unaona the data scientist ukifanya RAG and stuff. So instead of you like going to install Chromas, DeFi and stuff, this is what the vector DB. Mongo itself, it's a vector database. In a support. Yeah, I'll show you with one. I don't know if I still have access to that. Ningeonyesha. Hiyo ni a job. I don't think if I have access to like the Sina. That one. Hiyo sina access to it. The password will change you. Yeah. So, but you can create embeddings. You can embed your data and then store the embeddings for Mongo database. So, yeah. So the next thing that you're supposed to understand about Mongo is how you deploy, how you create a cluster, how you do replication, how do you connect to the database using drivers ama ukitumia shells, how do you insert, how do you query into the database, and now the model of this database. All these zote ziko kwa ni yako. So I'm sending this link for click so that everyone can go through the documentation upitie. It's part of the learning and part of the e-wiki, kazi ya e-wiki tu bado. So what you're supposed to know, nimewambia, Mongo stores its data in JSON format in documents. So a structure of a document, nimewaonyesha, acha niwaonyeshe tena. So a structure of a document ndio hii. One row is one document. Hii ni data yenye tulikuwa tuna get. Sawa. So ukiangalia the data points, data types, data points zetu 2015 iko na this and this and this and this and this. We have our metadata, we have the years zenye tuko nazo, we have the tags and all that. Sawa. This one aka kote, that's one document, that's one row. Iko na data yote, but now the formatting is totally different. And it should have a unique identifier. So always you should have an ID. Insert data from MongoDB. So then for our data, we store our data in databases and collections. Nimesema a collection is a data. That is the table, the normal table for Postgres. So database ni normal to database. Ni sawa? And I hope everyone interact with Mongo Atlas aone venye data venye like unaweza create and stuff. Hizo vitu zote. So I'll do this. Okay. Yeah. So let me acha nionyeshe. So in the database ya job, sizi fanya nini chimaliza ku login, nionyeshe tu kidogo kwenye data venye ina move. Yeah, so as we wait nimalize ku load, we can proceed. So just like the normal database, nimesema one way that you can connect to the database ya Mongo, unaweza tumia PyMongo, a Python package, or unaweza tumia SQL Alchemy for connection, the two of them. So yeah, so unaweza angalia kisha login. Good. So ukiangalia in our case here, the first thing that we said, the first thing in databases, that is NoSQL databases, una have to have nini clusters. So you connect to your cluster. We have one cluster, cluster 0. You can different data sets. Yeah, you can so I can connect. Nikiambia connect and there are different ways that I can connect that. Then the different regions then ina connect, then inanipatia, and all that configuration is a different ni zenye nafaa kulipia and stuff. So ukiangalia Mongo fritaya yake ni kidogo sana data, the storage capacity yake, sawa. But tuko na other ways zenye unaweza lipia M10 ama Flex. And this one, it's Mongo advantage yake ingine, it's pay as you use it. So pay as you go. You pay $0.09 per hour as you go. So ukitumia for 1 hour, unalipia $0.09. Kama utumii aulipi, you're not charged. So it's another advantage iko nayo. Then what else? What else do we need to go through? So okay, so in this one, like we're supposed to pay to equal almost kuja. So there's a browse different collections that we have. Tukona so many data inside it. Kiangalia hizi zote hizi ni databases. All these are different collections, and for every database kuna collections zenye ziko huko ndani. Hizi zote ni vitu za trading tu. Sawa. Yeah, so I should not even be sharing that, but well, si mbaya. Then another thing that we're supposed to go through is Cassandra. Cassandra DB, it's another type of NoSQL database. Cassandra. So anytime ukipatiwa any package or ukipatiwa anything new and you're supposed to go through it, I normally say the first thing in nitafanya tu kupitia documentation. You know why? Documentation ikudanganya, inakupatia kila kitu that you need. Sawa? So unaambiwa Cassandra is an open source NoSQL distributed database. That means you can edit, you can have it onto your machine. Unaweza edit to your liking. Sawa? Unaweza contribute to it and you push kwa GitHub yao. It's an open source as long as you're improving it. Sawa? Apache Cassandra is an open source NoSQL distributed database trusted by thousands of companies for scalability and high availability without compromising performance. It's a linear scalability and proven fault tolerance on commodity, hardware, or cloud infrastructure, make it the perfect platform for mission critical data. So unaona, the first thing unapatiwa, wanakupatia even different why would you choose? Why would you prefer to choose this one? One thing for a database, kitu ya kwanza inafaa kuwa distributed. So you don't need to lose your data. Yeah. In case this database ni moja instance moja iharibike, then we need to switch to the next one. Yeah, unaweza fanya data recovery and what have you very easily. So one thing, the difference between the two of them, in Mongo and Cassandra, inakuja tu just only the names zenye tunatumia. Sawa. In Mongo tunatumia cluster, same as Cassandra. Nimekwambia all NoSQL databases tuna build first clusters, then zinasto our name. So in Cassandra, we're using something called a key space. Sawa. A key space is similar to a database. Then after key space, we're getting something else called a table. A table is a normal table that we know, and now we store our data in row and then in columns. So are we together? Then unaingia tu kwa documentation, inakueleza how you're supposed to get Cassandra, how do you install it and stuff, na kila kitu ambacho chenye unahitaji kujua about Cassandra database. Sawa? Unaona, I think itself it's also a vector database. Kiona ina handle vector search, it's another vector database. So unaweza itumia kufanya ni you can learn anything that you need on this documentation. As ingia data modeling, then RDBA, BMS, inakuelezea the different designs that we have, how the design difference between relational database and Cassandra. Unaona wanakwambia aina joins, no inferential integrity, denormalization, ina happen. Yeah, everything that you need. So it's something else that I want you to go through during this week. Learn more about Cassandra DB. Then another thing that you're supposed to we're supposed to go through is how to create ETLs. So far, anyone with a question? Nasikia nawapeleka mbio sana. Kuna mwenye ako na swali? Are we together? If you're together, you can react with your thumbs up. Good. Yeah, so the next thing that you're supposed to do is to understand how to create an ETL. We already had one, to create moja. But now inarudi kwa how did you organize your files? Sawa. Nimeonyesha how I did my pipeline. Ingekuwa so easy for me niki automate. Nitachukua tu function moja peke yake, the runner function. Sawa. Utafanya tu just only the main. So nimekuambia anytime ukipatiwa anything that you're supposed to do to work on, the first thing that you're supposed to do is to come up with an architecture. So that is a file stroke system architecture. So an architecture in a comprise of what directories do I need, in a comprise of directories or folders, different files and stuff. So unafaa to break down your system. These are the files, these are the directories that I'll need. No, so in our extractor, ungekuwa na extract.py, then we do transform.py, then we do load.py, and now I run a function main.py. In a combine easy zote tatu. And out of this, you arrange your data in different functions. So for extractor, unafaa kuwa na a function a runner in a return a certain value. So that value ndio tutapip to import it kwa the main.py. Then after extracting that, and kwa main.py na classify. This is the part that we're going to use. The first one is data. We're going to extract data. The next one is we're going to transform this data. Then after transforming it, now we load it into the database. So that's something we should on how to organize your data or your files into a structured way or a structured manner. Nimesikia it's as if someone ametype real flex. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so kindly your project yenye mmefanya, you can go through it and ufanya research and ninawaambia you just go break down different files that you have or come up with a better system architecture tuelezee. Sawa? And again, for your files ni wakuambie when it comes to production, you don't know nani mwenye atatumia, mwenye anatumia ni yako. Sawa? Yeah? Yeah, so what I was saying, kwa your files, ni ujui nani, kwa production ujui nani mwenye anatumia, mwenye atakuja kutumia that file. So you really need to document it for them. Make it easy for them to follow. Ajue, this is what is supposed to be done here, this is what is done here, this is what is done here. So for your files, another file that you're supposed to have a readme.md. So a markdown file, readme file. So another thing that unahitaji ku have na ufai ku expose is a .env file ya ku save all the private keys. So and another file that you should have is gitignore file. Gitignore file advantage yake inafanya nini? All these files zenye utaki zikuwe exposed kwa GitHub ukipush your code unazi-hide na gitignore. So admin kikuja ni pull your code, sitaipata .env yako. So I'll have to create my own .env to nitumia. Another file yenye unahitaji ku have for your file is a vend. Why? You need to have a virtual environment kwa your project, that is your ETL. Unafaa uiweke kwa gitignore. Ukipush kwa GitHub, ignore that because it will take a lot of space yako na itafanya machine igurume sana as you push. It will take a lot of time, so ignore it, haitapushiwa. So if I come nitahitaji all the packages zenye ulikuwa nazo zenye ulikuwa install, like I'll have to do it myself. Then another file that you should have is a requirements.txt. How do you create a requirement.txt? requirement.txt, you don't do it directly yourself. So, you don't need to create requirements.txt alafu uende uandike nimetumia pandas, nimetumia nini. No. Just only a simple line of code inakusaidia. So, you normally do pip freeze, then greater than, where do we want to store our packages, requirements.txt. Only this peke yake, hiyo peke yake, it's more than enough. Yeah, hii itachukua ni zote packages zote hizi stack inside requirement.txt zote zenye umeinstall kwa .vnv yako on your virtual environment. Are we together? And if you want now, after nimekuja nikaclone your work, alafu nataka create my virtual environment, nikamaliza, and I want to get this, the requirement nataka kuzinstall. How do I do it? Nakuja ni pip install option r requirements.txt. So, are we together up to there? Kindly, if you're together, you can react with thumbs up. And if you have a question, kindly, unaweza unmute uulize. Mwenye na swali? Okay, I think tuko pamoja kila mtu. Yeah, so an ETL, what I'm going to tell you right now, ukienda to break down your files. So, your Bradley, when you look mechanisms zako zote pamoja, and you break down into extract, transform, and loading, then a main function. So, I'll run a function yako. Then we're going to something else now, creating Python packages. So, creating Python packages, it's not hard. Si kitu ngumu. Now this one kuna different things like what is a package? A Python package. Yeah, it's a folder containing related Python modules or files ending with .py. So unaona in our case here, could extract data and someone else anahitaji ku get that data. You don't need like go through all that. Unaona package ka gani? Anyone mwenye ashaitumia Firecrawl get data with it? Kuna mwenye ashaitumia Firecrawl? A Firecrawl chenye inafanyiwa like ina script data ina go through the entire site. Imetumia Selenium, imetumia Playwright, imetumia hizo ni zote. Yeah, ina go through, imetumia B2 so like ifanye HTML parsing, ina angalia tu, inapitia tu hiyo data the site yote, then unaipatia a prompt. This is what I want. Nahitaji data fulani from here. Then ina get that data. You want to handle pagination, you do it. The only thing that you do ni kupatiana an API key, a Firecrawl. Just go and do research about Firecrawl here. So unahitaji just inakupatia tu, like you only need the API key. Then wako na a package. Uninstall the package for your machine. So how did they achieve that? The file that we have right now, nataka ukimaliza hadi visualization, you create a package and give someone else a install into their machine. If they want to use it, call just only a certain function that you need. So a package, how does it help you? It helps you organize code into logical parts, reuse different functions across projects, and now you can share your code via PyPI or GitHub. So all the packages zenye ziko kwa Python, ukiingia PyPI utazipata hapa tu. Na nilikwambia the first thing that you should always do, ukienda kutumia anything, unaingia kwa its documentation. So PyPI, the only thing that you need to create an account, you need an API key to publish the package and you shall create. So that's something else that I want you to go and do. You need research bado that you're supposed to do. Then we have two different approaches that we can use to create packages that can be installed using pip. So the first one, unatumia set.py, or you can use pyproject.toll. Yeah. So setup is a traditional method for defining different package metadata and dependencies. So inatumia setup tools and dist utils to specify how the package should be built and installed. So unlike yes, yeah. So before I answer that, can we finish up the explanation alafu ndo nirudi sasa explain how you're building the package yenye tuna build. So the file typically includes information like the package name, version, order, dependencies, and etc. Then you can define entry points, scripts, and other configuration options. So tumesema tunatumia setup tools. For setup tools, as a package, you import setup and 5 packages. Then inside the setup, as a function, to import from setup tools, to get the name, that is the name of our package. In this case, to the extractor, the version of your package, then the package, how do you get it? You're going to tunatumia 5 packages. Then install requirements. What do you require to install the package? Unahitaji request, unahitaji by Mongo, unahitaji pandas, unahitaji all the packages that you need. Ukikuja uanze kuinstall this one, like lazima utakuwa na kutumia that package, lazima utakuwa install hizi vitu zote. For instance, like an example of that, install pandas. Si pandas, like you'll have to install numpy, sijui kina nini, hizo vitu zote, si ndio? Yeah? Numpy, like pandas, is it built inside numpy? Yes. Huwezi tumia pandas without numpy. So that's inastatiwa hapa, install requirements. Ukifungua ni the code base ya pandas, that is the setup yake. Utapata different requirements and all that. Then you give the order and requirement. After now publishing this is how you install. This is the internal publishing your. How would they push to GitHub or how would they push for by PI just internally? That is pip install. Option E means it's executable. So then dot. Hiyo ndo tunatumia fanya ni another way tumesema it's using by project.toml. So in this one it's a little bit different. Ikona the build system, then what do we require? We require setup tools, which is the version should be greater than 42. We need widths, unaweka vitu zote zenye unahitaji. Then you need a build backend. This is the backend that you're going to be calling and all that. Then the project side. This is the first thing is the build system side, not the project side. The name of the project, version yenye tunaanza nayo, all the dependencies, requests by Mongo, pandas, and all that. Then you deploy your package on PI. Sawa? So Ambuso. Yeah, so Ambuso, this is how you create the package that you're going to create. Unaweza jaribu create a package to extract data. One extractor to get data from different sites. So not just only one. Jaribu ku scrape data ukitumia beautiful soup, utumia request to get from different APIs and zote kuzimerge, then ujaribu ku-store. So this week chenye tunafanya ni ku-perfect Python skills. Yes, Ambuso?
Una break.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. So I'm saying,
Yeah.
like unaweza jaribu ku get data, ku scrape. You create a scraper function or a scraper package in a get data from more than 3 different sites or sources. So you can use beautiful soup. Unaweza tumia request to get from APIs, you handle all of them. Unaweza tumia a sidecar yenye tumefanya sahi, yenye unatumia a heavily rendered JavaScript site. Sawa. So unaweza get from 3 different sites. Yes. Yeah. So nimesema kitu ingine sahi. For today or this week, we'll be perfecting more on Python skills. One of the way of practicing Python skills is what we are doing right now. Sawa. Chenye tunafanya sahi. Create a package. Sawa. It's one of the ways, because understand about kutumia functions that we have, different data types, handling different data types, building classes and stuff, object-oriented in Python, inheritance, and zote sawa. So another thing that I want you to do, and what another file you need to have, create it's either a setup.py, hiyo ni ya kucreate ukicreate ni ama file tumesema inaitwa Python by projects, yeah, by projects.toml ukicreate packages ni sawa. I don't know if it's clear or not, but if you have any question, my DM is currently open and I'm ready to help anyone at any time. So you can reach out. Let's organize a session na wewe tusaidiane. Ni sawa? Anyone kuna mwenye kuna swali so far? Ambuso? Okay, yeah. Ayeta? Yes, Ayeta, you can mute. We can't hear you. Unmute your mic. Okay. Ayeta, kindly atukusikia ama kuna mwenye anamsikia? Okay, you can unaweza type kwa chat. Okay, so with that kitu ingine nilikuwa nayo, so nimesema tu you can reach out anytime tufanye one or two things pamoja, yeah. Everything chenye mtafanya this week, kila kitu I'll share on click after the call. So
Victor.
Then Ambuso, how was the interview? You can share the experience.
Tunataka kufanya leo usiku.
Okay. Yeah, so guys, apply keep on apply jobs kindly. Alafu ukipata any role, share for groups with others. Here when you apply, and always make sure that your CV, your resume in align with the job that you apply. So Are we together? Yes. Make sure that your resume in align na the job description. Alafu ukumbuke kitu moja, most of the resumes zenye tu tumeishi kuambiwa haziendangi kwa the IRT, inakuwa rejected by the ATS. Why? Learn on how to check on the keywords, the different jobs. So anytime that you apply for a job, make sure that the keywords is in line. Ikona kama wamesema ni PySpark ndio wanahitaji, piga CV yako tu iko na PySpark hapo, explain it kwa venye umeitumia kwa job, sema I used it to do this and this and this and this and this and this. So okay. So with that, or with those few remarks, I will, yeah, the meeting is being recorded. The recording will be shared with you after the class. So with a few remarks, I wish to end the call right now. Thank you so much for your time. Without any further ado, you can leave the call at your pleasure. Thank you and have a good night.